How's it going, IO? In this video, we're going to talk about why Kylie Jenner and Hailey Bieber have turned against Selena Gomez, how this year's Oscars are going to prepare for another Will Smith incident, and the embarrassing moment that Machine Gun Kelly was snubbed by a designer. First up, why are people saying that Kylie Jenner and Hailey Bieber diss Selena Gomez? The two of them received immense backlash online on Tuesday when Kylie posted a screenshot from a FaceTime call with Hailey. The reality star shared Instagram videos and pictures of her eyebrows and said that she accidentally laminated her eyebrows too much. Some fans took this as an attempt to mock Selena, who had recently made a post saying that she had laminated her eyebrows too much, all in an attempt to emulate Bella Hadid's look. TikTok users then started accusing Kylie and Hailey of making fun of Selena with their post. Several fans felt that they were acting like mean girls and that they were trying to bully Selena. One user wrote, "Kylie and Hailey are giving high school vibes." And for those saying it was an accidental selfie posted, come on, the billionaire marketer doesn't accidentally post anything. Some people also suggested that Kylie was throwing shade at Selena because Selena is close to having more followers than her on Instagram. In fact, that has already happened. Currently, Kylie has 380 million followers, while Selena has 381. But the reality star has since set the record straight on the possible feud. The 25-year-old called the rumors silly in a TikTok comment on Wednesday. She wrote, "This is reaching. No shade towards Selena ever, and I didn't see her eyebrows post. You guys are making something out of nothing." In response, Selena just wrote, "Agreed. It's all unnecessary. I'm a fan of Kylie." Although Hailey has stayed silent on this most recent scandal, back in September she debunked rumors of a feud on the Call Her Daddy podcast. She told listeners that the two of them have only respect and love for each other. She also hit back at the long-running theory that Justin Bieber cheated on Selena to be with her. When she got back together with Justin in June of 2018, Hailey insisted that he and Selena were not in a relationship at the time. She spoke about their brief reunion and claimed by that point it was just closure for them. She said, "As a woman, I would never want to get into a relationship with someone and be engaged to them and be getting married to them and be thinking in the back of my mind, I wonder if that door was really closed. I know for a fact that the reason we were able to get back together was because it was very much completely closed." She went on to say, "It was the right thing for them to close that door. It closed a chapter. I think it was the best thing that could have happened for him to move on." She said that a lot of the hate that she gets comes from the perception that she stole Justin. Hailey also insisted that they are the only people who really know the truth of the situation and what the timeline really was. To this day though, the exact timeline is still being debated, considering that many fans still think Selena and Justin were actually in a relationship when they got back together in 2018. But of course, only they really know the truth. While on that same podcast, Hailey also addressed all the hate that she's been getting from Selena's fans. She was asked if Justin or anyone in their circle has ever asked Selena to try and put an end to all the hatred. In response, she said that she had no expectation whatsoever of Selena doing that, but if that was something that she felt was necessary, then that would be amazing. She also recalled the moment that fans stood outside the Met Gala in 2021 and screamed Selena's name while she and Justin walked the red carpet. Hailey said, "Yeah, I could hear everyone screaming. I think there's a certain part of you that has a numbness. It was disrespectful to me, to my relationship. It just was, period, the end. But I think I've endured so much disrespect, and I still do to this day, that there was a part of me that was just like, another day, another negative slave." Hailey then hopped onto TikTok to issue a direct message to people trolling her on social media. She said, "Leave me alone at this point. I'm minding my business. I don't do anything. I don't say anything. Leave me alone, please. That's my only request. Be miserable somewhere else, please." So it's really sad that even in 2023, she's still having to deal with an overwhelming amount of hate from Selena supporters. Now, let's talk about the insane way that the Oscars are going to try and prevent another slap from happening. The CEO of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences recently sat down with Time magazine, and he explained that they had implemented a new crisis team for the upcoming Oscars. Bill Kramer claimed that this was created in order to quickly navigate any potential real-time emergency. And yes, this new crisis team is a direct response to last year's event, where Will Smith infamously walked on stage and slapped Chris Rock across the face. Kramer said, "We have a whole crisis team, something we've never had before, and many plans in place. We've run many scenarios. So it's our hope that we will be prepared for anything that we may not anticipate right now, but that we're planning for just in case it does happen." He went on to say that because of what happened last year, they've opened their minds to many things that can happen at the Oscars. Quote, "These crisis plans allow us to say, this is the group that we have to gather very quickly. This is how we all come together. This is the spokesperson. This will be the statement. And obviously, depending on the specifics of the crisis, we already have frameworks in place that we can modify." The Academy's president, Jeanette Yang, also admitted that they totally dropped the ball by waiting too long to respond to the slap. She said, "I'm sure you all remember remember we experienced an unprecedented event at the Oscars. What happened on stage was fully unacceptable, and the response from our organization was inadequate. We learned from this that the Academy must be fully transparent and accountable in our actions, and particularly in times of crisis, you must act swiftly, compassionately, and decisively for ourselves and for our industry. Most people remember the shocking moment last year when Will walked up on stage and slapped Chris while he was presenting the Best Documentary Feature category. The comedian made a controversial joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's buzz cut, which was shaved after she was diagnosed with alopecia. After the slap, Will returned to his seat and repeatedly screamed at Chris, saying, "Keep my wife's name out of your mouth." Although people in the audience were extremely caught off guard by the incident, the ceremony continued after the actor sat back down in his seat. Later on, he would go on to win Best Actor for his performance in King Richard, but ultimately his actions that night caused him to become the center of controversy. Will eventually resigned from the Academy on April the 1st and released a statement saying, "I betrayed the trust of the Academy. I deprived other nominees and winners of their opportunity to celebrate and be celebrated for their extraordinary work. I am heartbroken." It took several more days for the Academy to announce that it was revoking his membership and banning him from attending the Oscars for the next 10 years. But over the past couple of months, Will has slowly returned to the spotlight, and clearly he's just trying to live down the incident that happened almost a year ago now. In late November, he spoke with Trevor Noah on The Daily Show, and the episode really got fans talking. Will described the slap as an explosion of anger that was years in the making, and he also seemed to particularly put the blame back on Chris Rock. He claimed that he has no independent recollection of the fight, but that he understands how shocking that was for people to see. He said, "I was gone, dude. That was a rage that had been bottled for a really long time. I understand the pain." When Noah speculates as to what caused his outburst, he says flat out that it stemmed from rage going back to his childhood. Quote, "It was a lot of things. It was a little boy that watched his father beat up his mother, you know? All of that just bubbled up in the moment. That's not who I want to be." Will also claimed that there were other things he was going through that night which no one knew about, and that's why he erupted in violence. He said, "That was a horrific night, and you can imagine. You know, there's many nuances and complexities to it, but at the end of the day, I just lost it, you know?" He then says, "You never know what someone's going through." At this point, Will makes a plea to the audience, telling them to be nice to each other, because you never know another person's troubles. To be fair, Will also made it clear that he didn't justify his behavior that night, but the whole thing still came off like a little bit of an excuse to some people, especially because when Trevor asked him what he learned from the incident, Will just says, "We gotta be nice to each other, man, you know? It's hard." Quote, "I've always wanted to be Superman. I've always wanted to swoop in and save the damsel in distress, and I had to humble down and realize that I'm a flawed human." And with that admission, we can see that Will has clearly done the work and realized why he reacted like that in the first place. And now, have you seen the cringy video that's been circulating of Machine Gun Kelly? The rapper was backstage at Rick Owens' fashion show in September, and a clip of him speaking to the designer has now gone viral because of how awkward it is. In the video, you can see MGK looking pretty nervous while approaching Rick. He then introduces him to his daughter and says, "I couldn't believe there was yellow in the show. I was like, F yeah." In response, Rick says that he's using pink in his collection to challenge himself, to which the rapper says, "Yes, good, it's amazing. My nickname is Mr. Pink." After a bit of an awkward pause, Rick says, "I didn't know that." And he makes it clear that he really has no idea who MGK is. In fact, he makes it so much worse when he attempts to explain how he got the nickname. He says, "That's what all my friends call me. They're like, my codename is Mr. Pink." Then out of nowhere, Rick abruptly cuts him off and says, "I think I have to go." The whole moment seems like something straight out of The Office. In the comment section of the video, it seems like everyone thought the exchange was both hilarious and uncomfortable. Many people pointed out that the designer couldn't wait to get away from him at the first opportunity, and he couldn't come up with a good excuse to do it. Someone wrote, "The opportunity to ask Rick any question or tell him anything you wanted to say presents itself, and you tell him your name is Mr. Pink?" While that might seem a little harsh considering that he was likely just very nervous, it seems like more and more fans are becoming critical of MGK's behavior these days. What I'm talking about, of course, is the rumors that he cheated on Megan Fox. After some time away, the actress finally returned to social media to address the speculation. She wrote, "There has been no third-party interference in this relationship of any kind. That includes, but is not limited to, actual humans, DMs, AI bots, or succubus demons. While I do hate to rob you of running random baseless news stories that would have been much more accurately written by ChatGPT, you need to let this story die and leave all of these innocent people alone now." In case you're wondering, Megan was referring to Sophie Lloyd, who's also gotten caught up in the scandal. In the comment section of Sophie's latest post, Megan wrote, "How me making a joke in order to absolve this girl of a hurtful accusation somehow turned into into a confirmation of it, I will never understand. She went on to say, why are people so dumb? Sophie, you are insanely talented. Welcome to Hollywood. Your first unwarranted PR disaster. You've now been baptized by the flames of fame. It only gets worse from here, unfortunately. Just ignore it as much as you can. Middle finger up. In response, Sophie just left a comment saying that the internet is wild. But despite her latest statement, there's still reason to believe that things aren't quite back to normal between the couple. An inside source spoke to People magazine and revealed that Meghan and MGK are still not in a good place. They suggested that there are still problems within their relationship, like major trust issues. So clearly they have a lot of work to do in order to get through those problems together. What do you guys think about this latest story? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.